Here is a map of New York City. Please memorize it before reading this book.
Argofunk Book Review, Argofunk Book Review.
A Crime for Christmas was written by Peter Larangis. It starts with Nancy and Bess arriving in New York City. While Bess buys some chocolate, they discuss the case. The fictional country of Sarcone is joining the United Nations this week, and some burglars plan to steal the famous Sarcone crown jewels. The police know about the plot, they know where the burglars are staying, they even know the burglars are a parent-child team, but despite all this information, the police still can't figure out who the burglars are. So, they're asking teenagers to solve the case for them. Somebody tries to steal Bess's chocolates, but the Hardy Boys arrive just in time to save the food. Christmas romance fills the air as Nancy starts to crush on Frank pretty hard. Bess also crushes on someone, a handsome stranger named John. John invites everybody to go out clubbing with him, but they turn him down. Later, John crawls up the outside of their hotel building so he can enter the girls' room through the balcony. I would call the police. But Bess thinks this is perfectly normal behavior, if you're Spider-Man, so she changes her mind and agrees to go clubbing with him. The others tag along and act like disappointed chaperones the entire time. As for the burglars, the plan is to have Joe take secret pictures of every father-son group at the hotel. Two problems with this plan. Number one, according to the previous book, Frank is the photographer, not Joe. Continuity! Number two, Joe quickly gets distracted by a hot girl named Fiona and starts flirting with her. Way to forget the case, Joe. John breaks into the room again, and it's revealed that he's Prince Jean-Claude of Sarcone. He apologizes for the deception, but it was necessary to pretend to be a commoner so he could escape the clutches of his overbearing guardian, Count Renaud. Bess goes into fairy tale mode at this point. She figures that she and the prince will get married and live happily ever after. Count Renaud goes into fairy tale villain mode at this point. He disapproves of the match, and there's drama when he accuses Bess of being a gold digger. Culprits attempt to kidnap Prince Jean-Claude, but our heroes save him in a car chase. 2 chapters later, they save the prince from a second kidnapping attempt. Jean-Claude breaks down crying, and I don't blame him. Those culprits interrupted Nancy and Frank while they were flirting, and they were going to date each other, and Back to the mystery that we've been ignoring for 50 pages, Joe is developing the pictures of all the possible suspects. He shows them off to Fiona, probably because he wants to get pictures of her. The culprits break into Joe's room at this point. He chases one of them to the basement, while the other destroys all the photographs and locks Fiona in the closet. Joe gets super angry here because the case just ruined his chances with a hot girl who he's never gonna see again! Poor Joe. He must not know that he meets a hot girl in pretty much every book. Not long after, our heroes realize that Fiona and her father must be the cat burglars, and they're the ones who stole the photographs. Instead of, calling the police or something, our heroes decide to ignore that mystery for another 50 pages. Things get a little crazy at this point when Jean-Claude pays some people to kidnap him. The fake kidnapping is interrupted by real kidnappers who take Bess and Jean-Claude. The kidnappers accidentally leave behind an address, and this is where having New York City memorized comes in handy. See, the address is a mathematical formula known as the Manhattan Address Algorithm. See, you take the address, drop the last digit, divide by 2, add a predetermined number, which in this case is 22, and you get the nearest cross street, so our culprits are at Lexington and 139th. Couldn't be easier to figure out, right? Wrong. This is another Nancy Drew Hardy Boys book where they assume you're intimately familiar with New York geography. Thanks, New York publishers. Thanks a lot. We go to the culprit's hideout and stage a daring rescue. Our heroes realize that, wait, the culprits aren't trying to kidnap Prince Jean-Claude. Their real target is Bess. Specifically, they want Bess's chocolates. because those aren't chocolates, they're bombs. Right. They hid plastic explosives inside chocolates, then left the chocolates out where strangers like Bess could get them. Makes perfect sense. The culprit is Count Renaud, and he plans to set off the bombs at the UN Gala. Our heroes fight culprits at the chocolate factory, dodge a death trap on the way to the UN, and get inside the gala by pretending to be waiters. Because the United Nations building doesn't have very good security. Naturally, we have a huge showdown with Count Renaud, who tries to blow up the bombs and shoot Bess. Our heroes stop him, and we end with Nancy suppressing her feelings for Frank, thereby guaranteeing that the romantic tension will continue for at least another 30 books. The end. Postbook follow-up. I rushed through the final 50 pages in my recap, but at the very end, our heroes take half a page to solve the cat burglar mystery. On the way outside the UN building, Fiona and her father are running away with the stolen jewels. They accidentally drop the bag of jewels while getting into a taxi. What klutzy criminals, and what good luck that our heroes can solve the mystery by accident. For a moment, let me compare this book to Girl Detective number 15, Framed. Both books have a handsome prince who becomes the main focus, but while Prince Carlo is bland, Prince Jean-Claude is interesting and fun. He's unpredictable, and I liked reading about him, even if, at the end of the day, he's nothing more than a brief love interest for Bess. That would be the strength of this book. Good characterization. The characters are interesting. Even the characters who only appear briefly, like the taxi driver in chapter 1. The action sequences were also interesting. The mystery was the weakest part. Indeed, the book spent most of its time ignoring the cat burglars in favor of the Prince Jean-Claude. So maybe it's not the best for mystery fans. I'm not the only person who saw both mysteries before our heroes did, but I still thoroughly enjoyed this book. I give Nancy Drew Hardy Boy's Supermystery number 2, A Crime for Christmas, a 9 out of 10.